Hello everyone and welcome. This is Rona from eMaint Enterprises, and I'd like to thank you for joining us today for today's webinar on Xcelerate15. And things are getting very exciting around here as we're getting closer to Xcelerate, which is eMaint's annual user and training conference. And I'm pleased to have with me on the line not one but two guest speakers, Richard Miller, our Director of Marketing Communications, and Alex Allen, our VP of Product Development. And for those of you joining us, I just want to share briefly the purpose of today's session is to give you an overview of the upcoming conference and answer as many questions as you may have. We did a very similar session in August, and we just want to make sure we provide you with a few more quick updates as we get closer to the event. And for those of you who maybe missed that session but attended Xcelerate15, we're going to focus on what's new for this year and some upcoming critical deadlines for those of you planning to attend the conference. So before I turn it over to Richard to get us started, let me just tell you a couple of quick things. Your phones are muted, but please type your questions into the questions feature at any time, and both Alex and Richard have agreed to stay for as long as needed to answer your questions. Alex will be focusing on some exciting things about the product release that will be happening at Xcelerate, and Richard will be telling you all about the details of the conference. We are recording today's session, and we'll share a link to the recording with all the attendees so that you can share it with your team. All right, so kick back, fire away at your questions, and Richard, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Xcelerate15, the webinar that tells you everything you've always wanted to know about Xcelerate15, and with our special guest, Alex Allen, who's our Vice President of Product Development. I think you'll find this informing as well as exciting that you'll want to sign up for Xcelerate. And let me just remind you of something about signing up for Xcelerate this year. Our hotel rooms are selling out quickly, so if you're on the fence about deciding whether to attend Xcelerate15, hopefully this will give you the motivation to pick up the phone or register for Xcelerate15 and secure your hotel reservations at the Hyatt. So a little bit about eMaint. We're a global software solutions company, and we deliver the best of CMMS. And we measure our success not by our products, but by our customer success with over 4,000 clients, 35,000 users in 55 countries worldwide with a renewal rate of 90% plus. We've been delivering customer service success programs through computerized maintenance management software, otherwise known and it'll be referred to as CMMS solutions since 1986. And we've been recognized by national organizations for customer service, one of the fastest growing tech companies. Our top 10 reviews in our Gold Award is the software was reviewed by an independent committee, and they chose us to be #1 in 2015. And our service awards through the Stevie Service Awards and recognition both Best of SaaS Showplace and the Deloitte Technology 500 fastest growing companies. So thank you for joining us today. So Xcelerate, just so those of you that are not familiar, it's our once-a-year user and training conference. We provide eMaint users with the tools, the know-how, and really the need to take the maintenance management to the next level, because our success is based upon our customers utilizing our product and utilizing it to the 150% level so that we can exceed both your expectations as well as your company's. Just a question for you, and Rona will be working on the poll. If you are planning to attend Xcelerate15, we'd like to know, yes, you're going to be attending, no, you won't, and undecided, which we hope to persuade you to become a yes, that you'll be attending Xcelerate15. Rona,
Great.
any
all right,
comments,
I've gone ahead.
Question?
Yeah, I've gone ahead and launched the polls. So Richard is just asking our listeners so we know your intentions, of those of you on the line today. how many of you are attending, not attending, not decided, and just here for some general information. So it looks like, Richard, we have about 85% of the votes in. Let me leave this open for a few more seconds.
And Rona and I have an ongoing bet of how many of you, those who are undecided, will become yeses. So please make me honest and truthful with her. So why do you attend Xcelerate?
If I may, let me just share the poll results here. And it looks like, Richard, 25% of our listeners are definitely saying they're attending Xcelerate. 18% say they will not be attending, but they're still interested in the information, probably about the product and the event. And then 57% are undecided. All right, so over half, the fate is in you guys' hands. All right, back to you, Richard.
Well, if I can't persuade them, Rona, we're going to have Alex persuade them with the introduction of experiencing eMaint X4 and the 4 days of live training with our next generation software. There'll be over 50 sessions that are aligned with skills, experience with eMaint, and the role that you, each individual, play in terms of maintenance management, facility management, and your role in the company. There's an opportunity to network and learn from your peers, from the best practices to engaging both during meals, breaks, and several of the events we'll have. And most importantly, access to one-on-one live support. We'll have eMaint product experts, account management, and solution architects will all be in attendance at this year's conference. And I'd like to introduce to you Alex Allen, who's our Vice President of Product Development, who will tell you more about how you're going to be able to experience X4 at Xcelerate and give you a preview of this new next generation software provided by eMaint. Alex, welcome.
Thanks very much, Richard and Rona. Welcome, everybody. Really excited to participate in this webinar and have the opportunity to talk about X4 and what it is, how you're going to be able to leverage it, and give a little information about some of the things that are to come. My role, I participate in with the development team, with our QA team, with our support team, and then also with our customers to understand really how they're utilizing our product today, what they'd like to see in the next generation versions of our product, talking to our account management team and understanding what it is that all you guys that are current users of the system are talking about, the areas that you're utilizing most heavily, and reasons why you may not be utilizing some of the other features in the system. With all of that experience and the experience with working with the software myself over the last 8.5 years, this X4 release is a huge opportunity for us to make some significant changes and improvements to the way that you work with the software, the user interface, and streamline some things, and work on some things that you may not have even realized you're spending a little bit more time than you should be on just navigating through the system. So we're really, really excited about this. Now, if we could jump to the next slide. So the first thing just to talk about, so X4 is actually available to everyone that's a current eMaint user today. So it's actually available to you under the name of the Hub version 2, which is accessible on the navigation screen of the application. And this is a preview of X4. For those of you that have selected this option and worked within that new user interface, you'll notice that it's a single-page application. So the whole purpose behind a single-page application is to make sure that you are comfortable in the user experience. Screens are not changing frequently. You know where everything is. Your menu stays the same. Your user experience is very similar no matter what it is that you're doing. It also really cuts down on the loading of data. So it will speed your access to different features and functions within the software because we're not sending as much information through the pipe. The next piece here, so enhanced data entry and filtering tools. So that is a big part of what we've already rolled out in the Hub version 2 is our list views where you review your data has gone a complete revamp, and we have a lot of exciting new features that haven't even been released yet that really take those tools and move them to the next level, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. We are utilizing the latest web technologies, so we have a responsive design now, and what that means is no matter what device you're using or what monitor size you're using, you should be able to get the most out of the application. If you're using a tablet and you turn it on its side, you're going to get more menu options potentially than you would if you were holding it in a portrait mode. So it adjusts automatically, and then it will also help you when trying to access the full application on a mobile phone. So we're taking advantage of that. Increased performance, we've already talked about, and there are a lot of new features. So one of those new features is the secure electronic signature. So this is very important in certain industries to verify any changes to data being made. So that's something, again, that's already rolled out within the Hub version 2 for you to take a look at, work with, and try out and demonstrate to your peers that may be interested in taking advantage of something like that within the software. Richard, if we could jump to the next. All right, so the transition. So we've gotten a lot of questions. We've had a couple of these types of workshops from customers. We have a lot of sales and service individuals that are talking to all of our customers or prospects. And one of the most common questions is, well, how does this impact me? What if I don't want to change right away? This is my busy time of year. What's the time frame for me to switch over? So the first piece I want to point out is that all of your configuration, all of your setup that you may have done in the existing product, so setting up your forms, configuring your lookups, things along those lines, that's all going to transfer into X4. So you don't have to worry about losing any of those types of functions. All of your data is going to port directly over into X4. So you're not going to lose any data. You're not going to lose access to any of your data. So there's nothing for you to do there. How are we going to transition people in the user interface? What we're going to do is we're going to around the time of Xcelerate, we're going to have a product release. I'm sure the existing users are familiar with how we handle our product releases. We put out a notification, give you a heads up that it's coming. We'll hold a workshop so that we can walk you through all these things. And we're preparing lots of documentation that talks about all the different features and functionality that are in X4. So we're revamping old documentation and writing documentation for the new product and the new features all at once. So all of that will be available for that release. Once we do that release, you will still have the ability, just like you have today, to move back and forth between the new user interface and the old user interface. You will still have that capability at the time of that release. And what our goal is, and what our team will be doing, is we will be working with all of our customers to make sure that you have access to all of those materials, that you've had an opportunity to get comfortable with the X4 product, that you created a plan and migrated your existing users over into the new interface, and then sometime down the road, probably about 3 months or so, we'll put out a notification that the old user interface is going to start going away. So we're going to give you a good amount of time so where we can get feedback and make any adjustments that we need to make to the next to X4, so that your user experience is the best it can possibly be. So hopefully that answers the majority of your questions as far as the transition and how that's going to work. But I will definitely assure you it is 100% our goal to make sure that every concern that you may have during the transition process is addressed, that we come up with solutions for any situations that you may come up against as far as users that aren't comfortable migrating over, and we address all of those things before we take that old user interface away. So that's key for us, very important. But it is also part of our goal is to give you access to this feature as quickly as possible, so and as early as possible. So that's why you do have access to the Hub version 2 within your X3 software as we speak. Can we jump to the next slide? Perfect. All right. So what's next for X4? There are some small enhancements that are coming in X4 to standard features that will have a huge impact in daily usage. We've already seen it. We've already gotten feedback from some of our users that are taking advantage of the Hub version 2. But some simple things like the remove deleted record screen. Not something that you use very often, but when you do, previously it didn't have a lot of functionality. Well, we took this as an opportunity to really enhance that screen and add quite a few new features into it to streamline your operations, to allow you to quickly get those records back that you might need or completely remove them from the system. We've also made some significant enhancements to your list views. So these are features that haven't yet been rolled out, but features like the ability to make mass changes to multiple records at one time from your list. So making department changes or changing priorities on work orders or updating the schedule date for 5, 7, 10 work orders at once with just a few clicks from that main list. Another nice feature that we've added to the list that you'll be seeing and we'll be demonstrating at Xcelerate is the ability to take the list view that you've set up and export that data to a report. So rather than having to use the report writer to get that data out to Excel or to a PDF, you actually have an option right within your list to do that. So that's another key thing, and that in conjunction with some of the other features that we've added to the list, like the ability to have multiple sorts, to aggregate numeric values. So for instance, in your list of work orders, you can show a total for your extended cost very easily for each record. So you'll be able to see those things. If you're looking at a list of PM schedules, you'll be able to actually pull in data from your asset table or asset area also into that list view. So you have multiple entities in one list at one time. Pretty major features that we've had clients asking us for some time, and we're taking advantage of this opportunity to get some of those rolled out there. And then we've also revamped our user experience for areas like document storage, a newer feature that's been released, but it has been completely redone. We've added quite a few features into it based on feedback from our customers as far as what they'd like to see, things that we did well, things that maybe didn't go so well or they didn't like the ability to just drag and drop files out of Windows Explorer right into your browser and have them uploaded directly to the document storage, like a better preview capability, thumbnails for your files, things along those lines. So we're spending a lot of time and migrating over each feature piece by piece from the old user interface into the new X4 interface, and we have quite a bit in the backlog now of things that you haven't seen yet, and Xcelerate will be our opportunity to demonstrate all those things, reveal all of those things, and actually get everyone that attends training in all of those features in the new user interface.
So, Alex, thank you very much for that great overview for the upcoming X4 software launch. And just quickly, here's our event agenda at a glance, where we begin the pre-conference, which is optional with new user training. We also have the CRL workshop and exam that Rona will talk about in just a moment, the golf outing and golf option, I should say, and then our all-in user board meeting. The conference opening registration takes place on Tuesday, October 20th from 4 to 7 with a welcome reception from 5 to 7 p.m. And then on Wednesday, October 21st, we begin the conference with a daily schedule starting with registration and breakfast at 7 a.m. and then concluding the evening with a dinner cruise on the Gulf. On Thursday, we have another full day of seminars, and you won't want to miss our 2 o'clock customer success panel, and then the panel with our 5 or 6 different companies that will talk about their success in using the software, from the challenges that we addressed working with them to the success that the company experienced. And then on Friday, we have post-conference. We have 3 different post-conference workshops. Everything is available on the website for Xcelerate15. And Rona, I wonder if you would just address what the SMRP course hours and essentially what we'll be doing with SMRP this year.
Sure. And those of you who have attended other eMaint events may not be aware that we don't only include training on our products, but we also partner with other organizations and other industry experts and have them share best practices, just beyond the product training. And one of the organizations that we've recently partnered with, that many of you may be familiar with, is the Society of Maintenance and Reliability Professionals, or SMRP. And they offer various professional certifications for the people that are our clients, including the CMRP, or Certified Maintenance and Reliability Professional, and CMRT, which is a more recent designation they've come up with, for Certified Maintenance Reliability Technicians. And for those of you that are considering or have these certifications, when you attend an event like Xcelerate, and then also if you attend other eMaint boot camps and trainings, because we align with their body of knowledge, you're able to get continuing education course hours. And that's required in order for you to get your certification, and or for those of you who are already certified, keep that certification. So at events like Xcelerate, we do take advantage of that opportunity to provide this education that you can use for continuing ed credits. Okay?
Thank you, Rona. And if I can just ask you, just if you'd like to talk a little bit about the CRL workshop and exam that we'll be offering. This is the first time that we've done this at Xcelerate, and I wonder if you could just share with the folks a little bit about the CRL workshop and exam.
Sure. And for those of you who are familiar with, you might be familiar with reliabilityweb.com. It's a great source of information in our industry about maintenance and reliability, or Uptime Magazine. That organization happens to be located in Florida, not far from our offices, and we have a kind of a unique relationship with those folks, a nice partnership, and they have agreed to. Terry O'Hanlon is the CEO of that organization. He's going to be our keynote speaker, but in addition, they have agreed to offer a free workshop. They offer, it's for certified reliability leadership. And for those of you who are interested in this designation, you will have the ability to attend this workshop. It takes place on Tuesday, the day before this start of Xcelerate. You can attend this workshop at no charge, and if you are interested in sitting for the Certified Reliability Leader exam, you can do so later in the day on Tuesday, and the course is $2.99 and the workshop is free. And those of you even would like to attend the workshop that aren't ready to take the exam, we encourage you to do so if you can get to Florida on Tuesday and just take advantage of this free educational offering on the body of knowledge regarding CRL.
Thank you, Rona. And one thing you can tell by now is that what we've been able to do is offer education programs, continuing education unit credit, the X4 training, and then the ability to be certified as a CRL to do the workshop and then take the exam. We're also offering Solution Link roundtables. We have several Solution Link Gold sponsors for Xcelerate15, and as you can see on the screen, these will be opportunities to have discussions, look at opportunities. If you're challenged or need information on any of these sponsors, they're going to be available for the entire time of the conference. So we encourage you to take the opportunity to spend time with them. So it's not all work and no play. You do have the opportunity. There's a pre-golf option that will be on Tuesday. We've extended the break time and lunches so there's more time for networking and mingling with other CMMS users with our evening cocktail receptions. And as I mentioned, the evening dinner cruise will be on Wednesday night. So when you're looking at conference pricing, the registration fee is $1,495 inclusive. For the additional optional items, the pre-conference new user training track is $300. The pre-conference learning workshops are $200. The certified reliability leader exam and the free workshop is $299. We also offer additional guest registration as well as child guest registration and the golf option, which will be $90. So just some of the options for you to know. It's very critical that you understand the registration for Xcelerate15 is due no later than October 9th, 2015. To select your training sessions, October 9th, 2015. And as we mentioned in the beginning, booking a room at the Hyatt Regency Coconut Point, where the conference is going to be held, September 18th will be the deadline, and we are starting to experience a mass entrance into folks wanting to get these hotel rooms at the special $169 rate, because the rate will go up after September 18th. Flight, ground transportation, I would do as soon as possible because the flights do increase as you get closer to the conference time. And the deadlines for signing up for the golf option is September 17th and guest registration September 21st. So Xcelerate15, the annual eMaint User and Training Conference. Last year we had a very, very successful conference, and the feedback that we received is we want to come back again, experience more of interacting with other eMaint CMMS users, as well as looking at different ways that we can expand our training, our network, and our knowledge, and the access to the one-on-one live support have been key features in last year's conference, and this year we anticipate they will be key features as well as the best practices in our industry. So I'd like to hand it back to Rona because she may have questions you have submitted for our guest.
Okay, thanks, Richard. And again, we'd like our listeners out there to just go ahead and type any questions that that you might have of Richard or of myself or of Alex or anything regarding the event. And I do want to let you know again that we've recorded this session, and we'll share the recording with each of you so that you can share it with other members of your team. And we're also going to have a brief survey when we conclude the webinar. And I just want to let you know, I don't know how many of you have ever produced an event. Prior to last year, I never had, and it's a tremendous amount of work on a lot of people's parts. including Richard, Alex, myself, who all have day jobs, to produce these events, but we do so because we really want to. This is our chance to get, actually meet face-to-face so many of our customers. So please give us feedback. We want to make these events worthwhile for you and make sure that we're providing the kind of content that is important to you. So far, I don't have any questions that have been typed in, so unless there's any closing remarks, oh, okay, here are a couple. It always takes one to kind of get us started. We're asked, let's see, Alex, I guess this is for you, but someone is asking, I imagine once we, kind of fully release X4, will there be a new process for adding new users and configuring their permissions?
So the answer to, sure, yeah, absolutely. The answer to that question is yes, the screens that you go to handle the permissions will be completely redesigned. The goal of that redesign is to address a couple things, to make it easier to identify what the user permissions are for. And the other main item that we're looking to address is the ability to set up templates for users and apply those templates to a group of users at once, so that you don't have to set each user individually anymore. So I think those are the two pieces of feedback that we've gotten. Those are the two areas of focus. Obviously, it will be brand new, look just like the rest of the X4, the Hub version 2 interface. But so yes, the answer is yes.
Perfect. All right, thanks. And another listener had a question that I can address, and then Richard may want to chime in as well, but asking if there'll be any training sessions in the New York, New Jersey area. And we do want to let you know that we realize that not everyone can travel to Florida or might not be able to make this specific date in October. So we will plan again this year to have regional sessions where we'll take a small subset of the contents, many of the training elements, particularly around the new product, and take them on the road and to where our clients are. And certainly the New York, New Jersey area is one of them. We do want to let you know, though, as we do those, one opportunity we do the full conference in Florida is because that's where our headquarters are, and we have all of our product specialists, our support people, our account managers are there. So we obviously can't take all of them out of the office to come on the road with us, but we definitely will offer a one-day event at various cities in the spring that will have some new content, and we'll also take some highlights for Xcelerate. Okay. Richard, someone is asking, what does the adult and guest registration entail? Or perhaps you can explain which elements are included when a guest or an adult guest or a child guest registers.
Oh, certainly, Rona. And so all meal functions are part of the package, and they're, if you've never been to the resort of the Hyatt Regency Coconut Point Resort, there's many inclusive different activities to do at the Hyatt, as well with beautiful swimming pools and a number of areas. If you're into exercising, it's the perfect location with the perfect climate to exercise both internally in their physical areas as well as externally. In addition to the cruise, there will be a shopping tour that'll take place, and that'll take place on Thursday, and that's a very inclusive. There's many different venues for shopping depending on what your interests are. But most importantly, it's a great opportunity to bring your family to an event that you'll be actually working, but they can enjoy themselves and the company there. And just wanted to comment on one thing with the last question about the Newark and New Jersey area training sessions. Absolutely, as we start to build our Xcelerate Local program, it will just be a very small touch of what you'll experience at Xcelerate 15. The importance of Xcelerate 15 is when you leave there, we always ask a question to our clients: what's the most important thing you want to leave with? And the response has been knowledge, education, networking, and the confidence of going back and understanding the best way to maximize the opportunity and the software that eMaint offers. And that's one area that you'll do at Xcelerate 15. You'll also be able to do it on a much smaller scale when we do Xcelerate Local. So if you're on the fence about whether or not to come to Xcelerate 15, just keep those 4 points in mind that I mentioned.
Great. All right. I don't know if we've tried to keep this to our half hour, so but we don't want to end the dialogue. So please, if you have additional questions about the product, about the event, or upcoming events, please go ahead and reach out to your account manager or marketing at eMaint, and we'll be happy to address them. So we hope you've enjoyed today's session, and give us a few hours to render the video, and we'll go ahead and share a follow-up email. And again, my thanks to Richard and to Alex and to all of our listeners out there for taking time to join us. And please take a moment when we conclude the webinar to give us a little feedback or on how we did or any additional questions you have. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you the next time. Take care.